Assalamu alaikum YouTube, this is Said Mirza. In today's video, we will be continuing on with learning more grammar of the Arabic language in the Quran. We will be going over the rest of the chapter 2. I wanted to address some comments that I got on my YouTube videos saying that I'm not pronouncing these words correctly or that I'm not emulating the Arabic accent. Well, there's a reason for that. It's because I'm not an Arab. And chances are, if you are watching this video, you are not an Arab yourself and you're understanding the Arabic language. So we are not interested in pronouncing the words the way the Arabs pronounce them. Honestly, I don't even see the point of that. We are interested in learning the Arabic language of the Quran and being able to read it. And that's really what the point of these lessons are. There's many videos out there that go over tajweed, that's the pronunciation aspect of this. So if you want to talk like an Arab, go ahead and do it. But for me, I would rather stick with understanding the meanings of the words, and that's really the difference between a parrot and a man. So I hope that addresses those comments. The next thing I want to talk about is I don't know if a lot of people are understanding what first person, second person, third person means. So I figured I'd just go over that because we're going to be using these concepts um, quite frequently going forward. Now, the first person is when I'm referring to myself, it's that I use the words like I am sick or I am hungry. I'm talking about myself, that's the first person. The second person is when I am talking to you. So if you were standing in front of me and I said, Abdullah, get me a glass of water, or Abdullah, are you sick? So that's the second person. Now, the third person is when we're talking about someone who might not be present in the room with us. So, for instance, Abdullah is out somewhere and I say, Abdullah is having a bad day, or he should go see a psychiatrist. So that's third person. And also the idea behind a singular is that we're referring to one entity, one piece of one object, versus plural, which is many entities, many objects. Okay, the next thing is the tenses in Arabic. Arabic is very basic. There's only two real tenses in the Arabic language. There's the past and there's the present. And that's why you're going to see many translators translating verses in sometimes in the past and then sometimes in the present when the Arabic doesn't have those tenses the Arabic um, because the English is much more precise. English has past perfect, imperfect, past, present, and present tense, future tense, and there's many tenses. But in Arabic, there's really only two tenses. Yeah, there might be some ways the Arabic can uses certain letters to denote a future tense or a past perfect tense, but for the most part, there's only two tenses. So it's really up to um, the translator's liberties what he wants to do when translating from Arabic to English. Again, the Arabic in the Quran is simple. It's not complicated. And so that's why every time someone, starts talking about pronunciation or dialects or, the dhammas and this sort of all this technical stuff, it makes me sad because this book is was sent by God and it's in a clear Arabic language and it's meant to be understood by the masses. So where obviously the book can't be that technical, it cannot be full of jargon and rocket science wording because then people won't be able to understand it. And that's really what the point of these series is, to get people to see that the Arabic is simple and straightforward and anyone can grasp it who has the will and the wit. Okay, now going forward, we're gonna look at chapter 1, verse 6, continuing on. And if you want to look at the verses before that, please check out my video number 2 in this series. Okay, so to continue, we have here Ahdina Sirat al Mustaqim. Brother Garens translates this as guide thou us to the straight path, and the literal translation is guide us, as-sirat, the path, al-mustaqim, the straight. Okay, we're gonna break this down, and we have Ahdina, which comes down here, And what I've been doing with these tables going forward is that I will be giving you different variations on the same wording to help you kind of see what's going on and build up your knowledge of the Arabic language. Okay, so the first one is alif, ha, dal, noon, alif. And here we're gonna see something interesting. The root is ha, dal, ya, but if we look at the breakdown here, we see that the ya is missing. There's only ha and dal. And you're gonna see that with a lot of words, and that's just the way it is. I'm not gonna get into technicalities of why this is, but as you go to the Quran's Arabic more and more, and you read the translations and you investigate these words, you're gonna see patterns, and you'll just intuitively pick it up. Okay, so because I've seen Ahdana so many times, I know that the root is ha dal ya. Okay, now alif in the beginning, this alif with this symbol at the top, that means that it's an imperative command. It's more of like, do this for me, please do this for me. And so that's why at the beginning it's a dao, and this is implicit, okay? And a dao just means singular reference to someone. In this case, we have chapter 1 verse 5. The verse before this, it says, you alone we serve and you alone we ask for assistance, as in we're saying this to God. So obviously the next one is gonna have Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim, which would obviously be referencing God again. So it would be Thou guide us, God. And Ha Dalia, the meaning is guide, and Noon Alif means us. Okay? Noon Alif always means us. So we're gonna see different. This is how Arabic works. You're joining different patterns together with the root to come out with different meanings. Well, play different variations on the same meaning. Okay, next one is wayahdi. Wow, ya, ha, dal, ya. I've broken it down. Here the root is evident. Okay, so you have ha, dal, ya. Okay, and wow is and. Ya, when it shows up at the beginning, it's a third person, so it's he. Ha, dal, ya, guides. Now he is ambiguous right now. Who's the he? It could be God, it could be someone else. It doesn't say here. If you had something like Wayahdi Allahu, then you could say, yeah, it's God. It's saying, and he guides, and he guides as in God guides. Just so you know, a lot of times these translators won't even show you these implicit words here. They'll just say and guides, because it's implicit in the Arabic that it's a third person. But I'm breaking it down for you, so I'm showing you these things. Okay, now next one is something that I think will kind of solidify the concepts here. Fahadi Allahu, fa ha dal ya Allah. We've broken it down. Here you have the root ha dal ya. Fa at the beginning means so. It's a continuation. Fa hadi Allahu. So God guides. So God guides. And here I'm doing God guided again, because the present isn't, the tense is set up in a way that we don't really know what right now what it's saying. It could mean so God guide, it could mean so God guides, so God guided, and that's why I've left it like this. You can definitely place something else. You can place guide or guides, and it wouldn't make any difference. Now, one thing to note is that you see this apostrophe at the end of Allah, it's Allahu, and that basically means that this is the active agent. In in any verse, when you see a Dhamma at the top, that means that this is the active agent. That's why it's saying so God guided, and not so guided God. It's God is the one who's doing the work. Okay, that's why we have the apostrophe here. It's called a Dhamma in Arabic. Okay, next one is Hadani Rabbi. Ha, Dal, Alif, Noon, Ya, Ra, Ba, Ya. I've broken this down for you. This Alif is kind of weird looking, but it's actually just Alif. Okay, now these are two words. You have the Hadani, which is the root is Hadalia, and Rabbi, whose root is Rababa. We've already looked at Rab before. Now this is Rabbi. There's a Ya at the end. It's the same with Hadal, Alif, Nun, Ya at the end. Now this Ya at the end signifies that it's referring to me, as in my Lord and my guidance. Okay, so that's why we have here my Lord, because Rabb by itself just means Lord, but because you have the Ya at the end, it means my Lord. Okay, and it's the same with Hadani. Hada Alif just means guides, and Nu and the Ya at the end. Um, you can ignore the Noon. That's just there because to give it a better flow, if you will. Ya means me again. So guided me. Okay, so my Lord guides me, guide me. The has I put in there for because it, again, we're trying to maintain the flow in English. Next one is ahdika, alif, ha, dal, kaf. Now I want to bring your attention to the alif at the beginning here. You see the alif here, it has this thing at the top. It's called an ain, and this one is just an alif with this thing at the top, the symbol. Now the difference here is that here this forms and this means that it's an imperative command or request. In this scenario, the alif ain means I'm it's me, I am the one. Okay, so let's continue on with this one. Alif ha dal kaf. So ha dal is the root. Okay, and the ya is missing in this, but it's implicit. Ha dal ya, and then kaf at the end means the, referencing one entity. So the complete translation of this is ahdika, I will guide thee. Okay, so alif means I, ha dal ya means guide, and kaf at the end means thee. And don't worry if you're not getting this right now. We're gonna keep going through more examples, and it'll make things more clear. Okay, down the line we have waman yahdillahu. Wow, mim, noon, ya, ha, dal, alif, lam, ha. Wa just means and. Okay, man means who. This is something you have to learn. Man always means you. Mim, noon, man, who. Okay, yahdi, guides. See, now this is implicit. Guides in third person. Like I said here, it's third person. Yahadal here is third person. Okay, same here. Waman yahdi. I haven't put he guides here because it's implicit. Waman yahdi, third person. Yahadal, guides. And Allahu, God. See the Dhamma at the end again? It's saying that God is the one doing this. Is God is the active agent in this sentence. So that's why you have and who God guides. Okay, moving forward. Siratal lazina an'amta alayhim. But again, translates this at the path of those whom thou hast favored. Okay, the literal translation is path. Okay, those you blessed and upon them. Okay, moving forward, we're gonna be looking at Al-Lazina or Al-Ladina, however you wanna call it. Okay, now this one can be broken down into Alif, Lam, Dwad, Zal, Ya, Nun. Alif, Lam, Zal, Ya, Nun. And this just means who. You're gonna have to learn this. There's no other way. Allazina always means who, and I'll give you a reason why it's a plural because you have the ya nun at the end, and then we have another variation of this allazi, alif lam zal ya, and that means who, singular. Again, see this ya at the end, singular, which is what we saw in Rabbi here too. Rabbi, this ya at the end, me. It's a singular. So we here have here who, singular, masculine. Arabic by default is singular. I'm sorry. Arabic by default is a third person masculine. That's how words are usually written. The Quran, and Brother Garance has mentioned this in his videos too, that the Quran is addressed to men mostly. Okay, Allazi, who, singular, masculine. Allati, alif, lam, ta, ya. Now, this ta, we had the dual here. Now it's being replaced with the ta. These are pretty much the same, except the dual and the ta, and that signifies that this is a feminine and this is a masculine, and the ya just signifies it's a singular. So we're gonna leave it at that for now. Let's move on to the next one. An amta, alif, noon, ain, mim, ta. This ta at the end, you see the symbol at the top of here is called a fatha, and this fatha basically denotes that it's you. There's no way around this, guys. You're gonna have to learn some of this stuff. Repetition, repetition, repetition. Okay, an amta. This means that the fatha at the end means that it's you. Versus dhamma. You see this? Dhamma. We saw this dhamma in Allah as well. See, but here it denoted in it that this is the active agent. Okay, here the dhamma is denoting that it's I. I know this is a little confusing, but that's just the way it is. You're gonna have to learn this. It'll make it. It'll be easier as we go forward. Okay, anamta. The fatha at the top of this means you. Okay, and the ta. There's a reason for this ta too, because again, the root. If we break down the root. I haven't put the roots here, but the root is noon, ain, mim. Okay, that's the root. The alif and the ta aren't part of the roots. The root is noon, ain, mim, which means blessings, grace, favor. Okay, so that's why you have bless. But the reason for it being in the past tense, okay, now we're gonna get into this past and present stuff, is because there is a ta at the end. Okay, and that's just the way it is. If there's a ta at the end, that means that this is the past tense. So that's why it's saying an amta, and this fata means that it's you blessed, and the dhamma means I blessed. Okay, next one is an'ama, alif, noon, ain, mim, and that just is blessed, third person. Or it could be bless. Again, the tenses don't matter because there's no tie here at the end. This is just generic bless, okay? But it is in the third person. And we'll see how these first person, second person, third persons work as we go forward. We're gonna see more you're gonna get more understandings of this, but for now it's just blessed, and it's in the third person. The next one is an amna, alif, noon, ain, mim, noon, alif, and this noon alif means we, and we blessed. If there's stuff being attached at the end, okay, of a root, that means that it's in the past tense. Just keep that in mind. If there's stuff being attached at the beginning of the letters, at the beginning of the word, then it's present tense. I'll give you an example here. See? Here, the third person is being attached in the beginning. Ya, ha, dal, ya. Okay, ya. Third person, but it's a present tense now. Guides. Okay. This one, ahdika, that doesn't have anything attached to it. Okay, this ka just means that it's referring a thee. So if it's a ya at the beginning, then it could be considered as a present tense. But if it's a ta at the end, then it could be considered a past tense. These are just generalizations. We will get more into more specific cases down the line, but I'm just trying to get you to see what's going on here. Okay, the next one is alaikum. Ain, lam, ya, kaf, mim. Now this is famous. This is the assalamu alaikum of Muslims. And what that means is Ain lam ya means upon, and the kaf meme at the end means you. Okay, so kum means you, alayhim or alayhum, whatever, it doesn't make any difference. Hum means them, and it's a masculine. It's a masculine reference, not a feminine. Feminine is hin, alayhin or alayhun. Ain lam ya ha nun, upon them, feminine. Allah just by itself means upon. Alayna, ain lam ya nun alif, upon us. Ain lam ya ha, upon him slash it. Now the reason for this is that the Arabic doesn't differentiate between him or an it. I mean, an object can be referred to the same with the same letter ha that a man can, and we'll get into the masculine and feminine further down the line. But so you can always have, again, you're gonna see translators sometimes differing on whether using him or it is because the word in Arabic is just, the letter is ha, which could mean him or it. Alayha, ayn lam ya ha alif, ha. This ha and then alif becomes her. Okay, and it can also mean upon her slash it when it's a feminine. See, now in English you don't have feminines and masculine, but I'll give you an example. So like sometimes when we're talking about a ship, I know in old English they used to use the term she. They used to say that she sailed or she was christened, and the ship was a she. It's the same with country too, I believe, where the country is referred to as a she. Lady Liberty, that sort of idea. It's the same in Arabic. There's certain words that are masculine and certain words that are feminine. And sometimes you can differentiate them with them based on the endings, but sometimes it's just implicit that the word is a masculine or a feminine. Anyway, going forward, alayka, ain lam ya kaf, upon thee. You see the kaf at the end? Always it means thee. We saw this kaf at the end here too. I'll show you. See this kaf? Ahdika, thee, I will guide thee. It's the same one here too. Alayka, upon thee. Now, Muslims usually, when they say Assalamu alaikum, they just say, it's a generic greeting, but actually, if we're being grammatically correct, if it's only one person, we would say Assalamu alayka, okay, upon thee. Versus if there were many people, we would say Assalamu alaikum. And it's the same with this too, that if it was someone who was not present, we would say Assalamu alayhum, upon them. Okay. Well, if it was a couple of people that were not present, we would say Assalamu alayhum. But if it was just one person who was not present, we would say Assalamu alayhi. So this is how these things work. This is an important table. Definitely take some time to go over it again. It's introducing many different concepts here, which will obviously down the line help us as we go and look at chapter 2 of the Quran. Okay, this is the last verse of chapter 1. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Brother Gans translates this as not of those who incur wrath, nor of those who go astray. I like Brother Gann's translations because what he's done is he's broken down these verses into separate lines, and what that does is that it gives you a better idea of how those words are being translated, and they uh, he's very consistent with his translations, and at the same time he tries to keep the wordings in the proper order so you can see the translations happen. I'd recommend his translation if you have not downloaded it. It's available for free at Qur'anite.com. Put a link on the drop down box below. Anyway, so the first part of this was, I guess we should go back and look at this first part. The path of those whom thou hast favored, okay? Not of those who incur wrath, nor of those who go astray. And I've color coded this as well. You can look at the color coding here. Ghayr is not, al maghdub, incur wrath, alayhim, upon them, okay? Wa and la, not ad-dalin, the strayers. Maghdub alayhim, alayhim, upon them. We saw this alayhim here too. alayhim, upon them, masculine. Okay, let's break this down. Ghair, it means not other. This is something you're gonna have to learn. You have to understand that a lot of times when we're translating from Arabic to English, the words don't exactly match up. So that's why we're using sometimes two words. And a lot of times this issue can be resolved as you start reading the Arabic in its own context. You're gonna understand what this word means. غير could mean different as well. So this is what I'm saying. In English, it's kind of hard to start translating these words because you're losing some of the fidelity that's present in the Arabic language. And vice versa. I mean, Arabic is different than Arabic. It's a different way of thinking altogether. Anyway, so not other. غير. بغير الحق. This is a variation on this term. This we saw in the beginning when in chapter 1, the first verse was Bismillah, Bism, Ba, Sin, Mim. It's the same Ba here, Ba. And in that one, I translated as with, Bism, with name. And so Ba here is translated as with. Again, to be consistent. غير means not or other. Al-Haq, the truth. Al-Haq, Ha, Qaf, Qaf, that's a root. It means truth, right. I've broken it down for you as well here so you can take a look at it. Anyway, so what this means is with not the truth. That's the literal meaning of it. Obviously, it doesn't make much sense in English. So Brother Gans is translated as without cause. Sometimes it's translated as without right. And it's present in chapter 2, verse 61. I'm going to be doing this with some of the more difficult translations because what I want to do is show you how these translators are going about their business. I think it's very important for us to understand what's going on um, and to have a grasp of the Arabic language itself. Okay, next one is لغير Lam, Ghain, Ya, Ra, Allah. And La always means two. Okay, you're gonna have to learn this, guys. Two. Okay, Ghair means not, and Allah is God. And Brother Gans translates this at two other than God. Okay, next one is Abghairu Deen Allah. Ain, Alif, Fa, Ghain, Ya, Ra, Dal, Ya, Noon, Alif, Lam, Ha. Afghairullah. Okay, this one is a little bit more complicated. You see the Alif at the beginning and the Ain. Sometimes it could refer to, it could be a question. So that's why it's basically like a question. I know it's confusing because this alif with ain, I also said that it means I. I'll show you here. See, alif, ain, I. Yeah, that's true, but here in this scenario, it means ain, alif with, it means is. Fa means so. We already went through this. Ghain, ya, ra means not. Deen is religion, judgment, doctrine. Allah, God. So it's really a question. Is so not religion God? As in, is it then other than the doctrine of God? And you're gonna see sometimes translators going, is it other than the religion of God? And shows up in chapter 3, verse 83. Definitely look at many translations of this specific statement. Don't just look at Sam Garen's, look at Muhammad Asad, Marmaduke Pickthall, if you can find his, uh, Arberry, and also Yusuf Ali. Take a look at his as well. We're trying to build up our knowledge of translation, so it definitely helps to compare different translators. Okay, next one. La. La always means no. Afala. So no. You see, this is the same sort of construct as this one. I alif with the ain at the top, fa, and then lam alif. So afala, so no. Afala ta'qilun, will you not use reason? And that's what I use for the title of my first book, by the way. Okay, so you have alif, fa, lam, alif. You have ta, ain, kaf, lam, waw, noon. So afala, we already figured that that means so no. So here it means so no reason. So no you reason, because so no alif lam afala is so no, and ta is reference is addressing you, second person. Ta, ain, kaf, lam, that's the root, okay? Wow, noon means it's a plural. So it's translated as by Brother Gans as, will you not use reason? And the literal translation is, so, no, you, reason. That's really the translation of the literal translation. Again, definitely check out other translators. Okay, final one. Ad-Dualin. Alif Lam Duad. Alif Lam Ya Noon. The root is Duad Lam Lam. Let's see if we can find it in here. Nope, we only have Duad and then Lam. So that Lam is missing as well. Alif Lam, I told you before, means da. And Ya Noon at the end means that it's a plural. And sometimes it shows up as Waw Noon, Ad-Dualun. Waw Noon, Ya Noon at the end. Both are plurals. And Alif Lam is da, so we have the strayers. Duad Lam Lam means astray. That's the meaning of the root. Dualin just by itself means strayers, and Dalan, Duad Alif Lam Alif means astray. It's a singular. So that pretty much wraps it for this video. Do go over the concepts as well, and take a look at different translators, at least for the statements that I quoted in this video. God willing, until the next video, peace be upon you.